Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Hello, everybody. Justin, American Airlines. This over. Start. Here we go. Justin, here. I'm not kidding. Bing pong. Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Remember, I'm gonna do it for you. Shelby and Dolly. That's it. Shelby and Dolly.
Say their name.
Look. I have most paper dogs.
Now, airport freakouts are becoming more and more common. I think a lot of times when you catch these things on camera, you see them, going viral on the internet. It's a combination of things. Have people been freaking out in airports? Yeah, basically since the beginning of airports, okay? They're more easily seen by most of us, mostly now because everyone has a smartphone and they're going to break that out and record it. Well, here we have a crazed LGBTQ man and his Louis Vuitton toting husband, have a wild meltdown at Charlotte Douglas Airport and curse at a woman in a wheelchair after accusing American Airlines staff of keeping them off the plane for their dogs. This whole dog thing, by the way, is a joke. More and more, I'm seeing more and more of these, quote, emotional support dogs in airports that are extremely obvious to anyone who's ever seen a properly trained emotional support dog. They're not emotional support dogs. They are weirdos who want to travel with their dog. You want to travel with your dog? That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Okay? Take a car. Drive. That's what most people do. I see dozens of these stupid emotional support dogs at the airport, and they are wildly untrained. They're just small little yip barker dogs that sit in the plane and bark the whole damn time. They are not trained. Most of the time, you don't need any kind of official documentation either. This is the moment a crazed accountant and his husband had a huge airport meltdown and swore at a wheelchair-bound woman after accusing American Airlines staff of keeping them from their pet dogs. This is what privilege looks like. Seems like more often than not, especially recently, we're seeing a certain group of people getting away with an awful lot of bad behavior at the airport. I'm not saying it's all that group of people. I'm just saying there seems to be some correlation, some correlation. I mean, I don't know, I'm not, a statistician. I'm just anecdotally saying there seems to be a lot of people from a particular community having airport meltdowns on camera. Again, bringing your what are probably not actually emotional support dogs. By the way, you shouldn't really travel with your dog. They put them in like the cargo bay. Lots of times they die. Just drive. Just drive. Quite honestly, if you're looking at a 6-hour drive, that's about the same as a 2-hour flight. You got to get there 2 hours early. You land. By the time you get all through the rigmarole and you go around and do this and do that, you could have just driven there.
You're not going to make a plane and see your girls. I'm good, Chef. Remember your girls.
Remember your girls. I'm not sure. I think these are two gay men pretending that their dogs are their children.
Your girls.
Now, this woman actually looks like she has an emotional support dog. It's well trained. I hate how they have this stupid paw screen. You can see this dog is very well trained. You have some flamboyant man having a total meltdown, and the dog is laying there extremely well behaved. See that? That's an actual trained dog.
You don't care about the girls. You don't care about the girls. Hello, everybody. Justin, American Airlines. This over. Start. Here we go. Justin, here. I'm not kidding. You don't care about the girls? So I want to tell you about Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Remember them. I'm gonna do it.
They're talking about their girls, which are probably little pocket-sized poodles, because they're called Shelby and Dobby.
For you. Shelby and Dolly. That's it.
Or Dolly.
Shelby and Dolly. Remember. Remember them. Shelby and Dolly. Remember them. I will. I am. I'm just trying to get home to.
This woman here in the wheelchair is laughing. Absolutely laughing.
Girls. Look, I have a paper dogs.
She's like, step off, you weirdo. She's like, did you see that? She's like, get away from me, she said. I mean, seems like a very well-adjusted individual. Now, look, I'm not going to stan for American Airlines or really for any airline because quite often they are complete garbage. I talked about this yesterday. Air travel in 2023 is the worst it's ever been. I challenge anyone to, maybe early on when a lot of them were crashing. Okay, it was maybe worse on September 11th that day. But for the most part, air travel in 2023 is the worst it's ever been. Any post-lockdown, any post-COOF air travel is a nightmare. So I get it. People are melting down. The drama between Charlotte Douglas Airport earlier this week with accountant Miller, who's seen screeching F off B-word at a woman in a wheelchair who was also waiting to board the flight to Fort Lauderdale where the couple live. You're not going to get on the flight and see your girls, Thorne shouted as he aggressively dragged his husband away from American Airlines staff member who he was berating for an unknown reason. It's unclear what prompted the drama, which initially was shared on TikTok. Remember your girls. You don't care about the girls? You don't care. They're obviously talking about dogs. Thorne kept repeating, seemingly in a manic state. Yeah, you want to really go down the rabbit hole? You look at all the pilots that quit. Like, my wife and my best friend are both pilots. I'm plugged into the pilot community. I know what's going on there. A lot of the best pilots left when they forced the jab on them. That is just the absolute truth. Another, if you're thinking about air travel, just take a little bit of a look into what ATC, air traffic control, see how insanely overwhelmed they are. In this next 6 months or a year, you're going to see a catastrophe on the ground, in my opinion. Planes colliding on the runway, something of that nature. ATC is completely overwhelmed. Good pilots quit, or they're flying for FedEx now. The girls, later identified as Shelby and Dolly, are actually two dogs that the couple share in their social media revealed. So it was over their dogs. Their names are possibly a reference to 1989 movie Steel Magnolias. I mean, this is what you're seeing here, by the way, is LGBTQ privilege. I can promise you this. I can promise you this. If it were me and I was sticking my finger and screaming in the face of a woman behind the counter on American Airlines, I would be gone. I guarantee you, this is what, when I talk about LGBTQ privilege, that's what this is. There is no chance in hell that I would be able to be screaming and putting my finger in the face of an employee at American Airlines and then still be able to board that plane. No chance. You wouldn't even have seen video of it. I would have been gone so fast. If I started screaming at an employee, the cops would have been dragging me out of there Immediately. Just as the situation was de-escalating, a woman sitting in a wheelchair made an inaudible comment that set him off again. F you, B-word. Meanwhile, a young girl in the background can be seen grinning as the drama unfolds before her. Who knew Anthony could turn this into a housewife? Miller jokingly posted on Facebook in an anniversary tribute to the husband. I mean, this person, by the way, okay, records show that the pair live in an apartment building in the popular gay neighborhood. The building features a large pool with an $800,000 apartment. So they're super rich. They've got nothing to be upset about. I mean, and oh, by the way, this person, this is not the first time. This is the same guy. The same guy has multiple. Here he is having a meltdown. Florida accountant suffered airport meltdown over his dogs. Is filmed swearing at trans prawn star neighbor's husband while wearing a towel in a shocking new clip. So it is let me read that headline again. This is the same guy screaming at his trans prawn star's husband.
Act crazy for camera.
And this is a man. This is the same individual who clearly is unhinged, has some sort of mental health issues that are undiagnosed. And to be totally honest, obviously I can't know this for sure, okay? And I'm not like casting aspersions on the entire gay community here. I know lots of gay people who are all awesome and well-adjusted and fine people, many fine people. But the problem is when you have a culture of privilege where you can't say anything to a certain group of people without being called, racist or homophobic or whatever the whatever the crap, whatever it is. You basically live a life of privilege where no one's ever been able to check you. The one place anybody's going to get checked, and I don't care if you're a government official, a Hollywood star, or whatever, is going to be the airport. The airport is the equalizer of equalizers. You're all the same cattle at the airport. So I think generally what you have here is a guy who's never faced any consequences in his life, probably never been told no, probably was raised by an uber wealthy single mom who's a widower or something like that, just guessing, gets told no once and has an absolute meltdown. That, my friend, is LGBTQ privilege. I mean, here you see the same day, enraged traveler takes a ride on baggage carousel, threatens to drop a deuce on it after a long wait for luggage. I mean, I wonder if this individual is also in the community. I wonder. A British traveler has been filmed having an epic meltdown while impatiently waiting for their luggage. This was yesterday. Just drive, folks. It's fun. You can see the country. And you don't have to deal with a bunch of lunatics at the airport.